Good evening and welcome back to the second game of this doubleheader between fearagent and ShivaHaze on SpeedGaming 3. Fear took the first match. Let's see if we can get that marked. But it was a really close race despite quite a lot of divergence between them until ShivaHaze ran out of small keys in Ganon's Tower on the fly.
Oof.
But you can go back and watch that. Anyway, I'm Drosny, and I'm here with Homemade Beer. Did you get a chance to catch any of that?
Yeah, I was running errands in the afternoon and got to see the last half, and it got really tight. The Boots and Meyer were a huge help to Fear there in the end, and it was a good race. A lot of kind of out of the way locations. Get those boots, get that red cane on Catfish, and yeah.
Yeah, Hammer on Hobo was another thing that really.
Oh, I missed that one.
Oh, yeah. Fear got it fairly early. ShivaHaze took a while to get it, and yet the race was still really close.
Yeah, one of those seeds where they're trying to troll you with locations, it sounds like.
Yeah, so just as a reminder, this is a best-of-3 series. This is now game 2. If Fear wins this one, he advances to the second round. I believe that would make him the first runner to advance to the second round of brackets, and ShivaHaze would be eliminated. Of course, ShivaHaze can win this and force a winner-go-home game 3 for them. And we should be getting underway any second now.
So, Drosy, do you know the seeding of these two runners?
Yeah, Fear's in the 50s and ShivaHaze is in the low teens. Ooh, Uncle's going to watch a Moth tutorial. I bet he loses that battle.
Depends on which sword he has.
And Uncle's life savings is not much.
Good start, 1 rupee. ShivaHaze doubling their cash in the bush.
There we go, just 98 more and we can get Bottle Vendor. Neither of them doing a map check before dropping down the hole. What weapon do you think it'll be?
Bow. Cane. Oh, well, the troll cane from the last seed, of course.
Hey, at least it won't troll them. You know what that means, though. Meyer and Turtle Rock are clearly pendants.
Oh yeah, with guaranteed progression, for sure.
But hey, they're the bombs, which is nice. Don't have to farm those.
Yeah, it's a good start always. You can just cruise through and just get through the escape as fast as you can with those bombs.
So I'm looking up how they each did. Originally, ShivaHaze actually cruised through groups. This is really impressive. He swept Dr. Mardio and swept Ganon's Gone Wild, both of whom are really good players, and wound up actually, the two of them had to play a loser's match that went the full 3 games and was really exciting and actually concluded all of the groups. But Shiva, meanwhile, had an easy trip to brackets from that, whereas fearagent, I remember he got swept by Matt. Yeah, he swept Adirondack Rick, then got swept by Matt, and then also wound up battling Technolink to 3 games before finally making it into brackets.
Sounds like a lot of sweeps in the series here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there have been quite a lot. ShivaHaze is down here at, I think he's about 13th seed, I want to say, because he was a relatively low seed coming out of the quals, so compared to all the other runners who just swept their way through groups, he didn't get as good a seed.
Right, yeah, because the seeding was based on your group performance first, right? And then your qualifier record.
Right, so everyone who swept their groups is seated ahead of everyone who didn't sweep their groups, but among all the people who swept their groups, your qualifier record determines.
So it looks like Fear is a room or two behind. I think he had a little bit of trouble with the first key guard, getting the brick, the red block, laying in the wrong direction, probably a misclicked input, and causing that room to be a bit of a hassle. So
Yeah, Samaria opens kind of non-obvious. You know, it's not exactly most people probably practice heavily or anything.
right, yeah. Still nothing else in Escape at this point. Just 2, 3 triple bomb packs and a couple rupees.
Well, I mean, getting 6 bombs that way is not trivial, because that means we'll be fine for Kakariko. And there's the Sank Heart, French vanilla, I guess.
Oh, very nice. Nice refill on the way out.
Yeah, so now let's hope something's in the back of Escape, or... This is going to be kind of a bummer if they're still on Samaria and bombs, and that's all they got. Okay. Fear actually has arrows to use with the bow. ShivaHaze still needs to get some.
I was almost right. I said a bow and Escape. Just it was on the wrong side.
There you go. And Sank will have an item because we did find the map in the back there. So really bow's the big thing. You think that means we're in for a good stack of Rico, or are they just gonna have to keep looking? As we get our first map check with a regular crystal on Eastern, a 5/6 on Desert, and a green pendant on Hera.
Yeah, I don't know. They haven't found anything yet. Maybe this is one of those seeds that opens really slowly and then balloons at the end, and you get everything all at once. Or they could just be, get everything early except for 1 or 2 troll items.
Yeah, that's always the thing. Ooh, that is a convenient tree pull, getting those arrows, since we have the bow. And hey, Moon Pearl in the Woods. Yeah, that's the thing. Even if you get a stack of Rico, you never know how long it'll take you to get those last couple of items.
Yeah, it's almost worse that way because the game opens up so fast. Then, as a runner, you have to choose out of 5 different options and hope whichever one you pick was more of the progression than one of the other options. But
by the way,
for more interesting races, though, to watch.
If you want to see a Stackerico to beat all Stackericos, check out the Ninban versus Walter match from a few hours ago. Did you catch any of that, Homemade?
I again missed the first half.
Oh, because that had a crazy stacker. Ninban didn't even finish CAC because he already had Dark World access and went straight to Dark World.
That's great.
But joke was on him because there were flippers in the back of the tavern.
Did he miss those?
He came back for them eventually.
Ah, okay.
I didn't actually watch the whole race, so I don't even know who won. So, the one nice thing so far is we have gotten quite a bit more money, so we'll be fine for Bottle Bender.
Yeah, not much else, though.
Powder's interesting. Maybe
Yeah,
Hammer will
it's a
show
nice
up.
safety to have early, too.
Flippers, Bottle. Okay, we can check Sick Kid while we're here. And maybe those early flippers mean that ShivaHaze will check Hobo before too long, as he buys a Quake medallion for $100.
Trading a coin for 100 rupees.
Who knows, maybe the Quake medallion will even be good for something this seed. There's a sword and chicken hut.
Not quite Stackerico, but very nice starting loadout so far.
And that gets us close to Zoro money, so those flippers are starting to look kind of attractive.
Yeah, just another 100. Hopefully they can find it on the way. Especially, well, they have the flippers too, like you said. So.
Yeah, you're definitely thinking South Shore and routing that into flippers checks, though, now that you've gotten the flippers. The early Moon Pearl is interesting, though, because we don't really have anything to go with it. Like, sure, we have one sword, but that's not really pointing at Agaseed, but we don't have anything that's pointing to Dark World Access otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, I could still go either way with Mitz versus Hammer versus Aga. Really depends on what we find next. I wonder with the bow if they decided to go to Eastern early versus South Shore. Looks like ShivaHaze is doing just that.
Oh, yeah. Early Eastern play despite having the flips. Well, might as well put a prediction out there. How do you think we will get Dark World access? Today we'll do Hammer versus one of the other two.
I'm gonna guess Hammer here. It doesn't seem like a mean seed yet.
Yeah, and watch Cape show up here in the back of Saha's closet.
And Lamp.
Oh, Flute. That's kind of spicy. That actually works out nicely because we don't have to walk all the way to Aegina.
Yeah, that's kind of a random place to find that there in a way. I mean, you're not going to go there immediately after Escape, Save, and Quit and do Eastern, probably, but it's kind of one of those, okay, great, now I got to activate it, but at least early movement is always nice.
Yeah, that also gives us one logical check on Death Mountain. There's our second bottle, which Fear's going to pick up. He probably has
the Master Sword.
Oh, so that is getting us a bit closer to Aga. But still a lot of checks left. And I'm thinking if Fear's thinking Flipper plays, then having that extra bottle is nice because you can release the bee and see what the Waterfall Fairy gives you.
Oh, yeah, good point. And utilizing the bee for Mini Moldorm Cave here is nice. Well, we found all the arrows.
Ooh, and there's a mirror. So that actually puts Tower of Hera in logic, but if the big key is fire-locked, we can't do much there.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Of course, neither runner knows Tower of Hera is in logic.
Yeah, and with the mirror now, as soon as they get Dark World access, they can go and collect the mushroom on Hylia Island and turn it in at the earliest convenience. And with the flute, shouldn't be too bad, actually.
Yeah, that also means that if they get Dark World access via Mitts, they probably don't need to worry about having to do Aga for the hammer or having to current jump or anything.
Oh, definitely.
So, we haven't seen the big key of Eastern yet, have we? This is just going to be the big key here, I think.
Yeah, I haven't noticed there was anything useful picked up in Eastern at all so far.
Yeah, so now we'll check the big chest coming back through and then go to Armos Knights. The sword is something, but... And I guess you can use Samaria for a bit of kind of echolocation, but that dark room without the fire rod is kind of annoying. But that is Zora money in that chest.
Yeah, it is one of the more frustrating rooms, I think. Depends on how you have it set up. It's a little bit easier with sword beams. You can just take the bow approach here that ShivaHaze is doing, and looks like making a quick work of the Igor there, getting the key and done.
And conveniently, they have the arrow prize pack, so he can easily replenish his arrows from all that.
Yeah.
Wow. Whoa!
This is a seed.
Yeah, those early flippers were definitely pointing us to something. Unfortunately, Fear doesn't quite have Zora money. So he's going to be orphaning Zora, which he did in the last seed, and it didn't hurt him, as Zora only had a love lesson. That was some amount of money on the ledge, but I didn't see how much.
Yeah, this seems reminiscent to last game. I believe a similar thing happened that by the time ShivaHaze got to Zora had the cash and fearagent did not. And so
Chap's saying that's 300 on the ledge, so Fear's going around, going to get it, and we'll have to circle around again to buy whatever Zora has. ShivaHaze picks up the first crystal of the game at the 16-minute mark. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I saw someone do the full loop like this at Zora. Reminds me a bit of Final Fantasy VI, where you can do the loop on the raft forever and ever.
Yeah, this play actually always feels terrible, because it's like you're either isolating this check or you get to walk around it. This takes a long time to walk.
So Shiva gonna activate the flute here, not surprisingly. Oh.
I'm getting the refund.
Yes, 10% rebate on your expenditure of 500 rupees.
So yeah, interested to see. Fear's going to get his flute here in a second, and could opt to go activate it right away. Once you have it, I think you can just flute back to Eastern and walk there, and it's probably a similar amount of time, because you have to walk to activate it anyway.
Without the glove, it's a little bit longer, because the entrance to Eastern by the flute to 5 is blocked by a rock.
Ah, right.
But yeah, ShivaHaze now has his Master Sword. And yeah, Fear's gonna activate that flute.
Cool.
He probably figures there's a glove on Death Mountain since he now has access to basically the whole thing. He also can get himself into Desert, though it could be boots locked, and without a glove and a fire source, we can't do the back.
Yeah, that's probably not a good call at this early. You could always find both in there. It's super rare. It probably never happened, but still able to go and rescue the old man, check Desert Ledge. I don't think he did a Gina either, like you said.
Right, so this now makes it a lot easier to do that. ShivaHaze is going to get his mirror, so I wonder if that'll lure him to Death Mountain, or he'll probably do the flipper checks, which will be good because he'll get the hook shot. Old man's out of logic, but really not too bad when you have a sword to light your way.
Yeah, and once you have this done, then you have the save and quit point for the rest of the seed, which allows you to get a quick health refill every time you want to save and quit and flute to your next destination.
And we're out. Yeah, so ShivaHaze is moving around a bit more quickly because he can repeatedly flute to 8 here and skip some of the walking that Fear had to do.
It's interesting the way the item setup is for Fear going up the mountain here. He can do Paradox and Spiral Cave, and can also do Hera and Ether, but not on one trip to either one because he does not have that hammer.
But this routing makes sense. He'll go up Paradox, down Spiral, and then hookshot back across. Or I guess at that point he could even just flute to 1 again.
Right, yeah.
Well, that puts Aga in logic.
Yeah, I was about to ask, what are the implications of that lamp?
And still no sign of a glove or a hammer. Although if we do get a glove, then we can start thinking about Desert, though it may still be boots locked.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not always boots locked, but it's a bit risky to get all the way down there and find out it is because of the book animation and everything else.
So that's the Uncle Bombs on the floating island. Won't need to go back for those. Would be kind of funny to somehow get the mitts up here, and then you can just do Dark Death Mountain while you're at it.
That'd be convenient.
But except for that lamp, we didn't find anything in East Death Mountain.
Well, Lamp puts Old Man in logic with the big 20 that he gave us.
And it also does mean we can full clear Hera.
Ah, yeah, good point.
Which might be worth it for Fear because he hasn't done Eastern yet, so he can turn in the green pendant when he goes back to do Eastern if he does full clear Hera.
Actually, that wouldn't be a bad choice at this point. It feels like, we're not closer to Dark World access still. We're closer to Aga, and that might be a way of, finding the progression the game wanted us to get to Dark World to not have to do Aga.
And there's our map check. We have pendants in Pod and Thieves, and that was a 5-6 at Turtle Rock?
Yeah, that's what I saw as well.
So we know that Aga is not logically required for the hammer, for whatever that's worth. Unless it's required for our Dark World access, because none of the stuff's in the Light World. But if we get Dark World access by Mitts,
right.
then Aga won't be required.
Do you think he'll go through full clear Hera here? Oh, hello.
So it looks like he is doing the Hera pot, which makes sense because you've found one item, so there's only a 1 in 3 chance that the big chest has your second item, so it seems worth taking the risk.
Yeah, that's true. If he gets a second item, then it's just a choice of whether or not you want that green pendant on the way down to Eastern.
But map and the compass chest. So now it's a 50-50, and then it's kind of the awkward, well, if Moldorm doesn't have the second item, do you take the coffee break to get the item in the big chest? But if nothing else, tempered this early is nice.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you tend to see in Aga Seeds is a lot of early swords, because the game wants you to find enough of them to be able to defeat Aga for Dark World access.
Oh, and Fear managed to poke the Dorm, because you don't see an enraged Moldorm with Tempered Sword very often. But yeah, that big chest does have the second item. But Fear's out of here.
Yeah, I think it's green pendant Eastern time. Or it's Aga time, just kidding.
Wow.
I guess he has the mirror, so he can go combo that in when he walks over to Pod.
Yeah, though it does make things a bit spicy, because then you're in the situation where if you save and quit in the Dark World, you wind up on Pyramid.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes that can be really convenient. Sometimes it wastes a few seconds.
Yeah, I was just thinking that if he does that, does Eastern, dips Pod, looks for anything, pulls anything he can out of the dungeon, can just save and quit from Pod and then get access to head back over towards, if he still doesn't have Dark World access via items, then he can still get back through saving and quitting to the Pyramid, like you said, and use the flippers and the hookshot to get across.
Nice tempered spin strats to get through those first 2 rooms, though.
Yeah, 3 swords here is the way you want to climb this, honestly. It's always tough when it's like fighter sword cape and then nothing else useful. These enemies are really beefy in this climb.
Yeah, I mean, and the game thinks you're doing this with Master Sword, and it's pretty challenging. So there's Shiva's Tempered Sword, and looks like he's setting up Harapod as well. So we'll see how he handles this when he discovers that the second item is in fact in the big chest.
Looks like he had a bit of a bad sub-pixel lineup there.
Now the thing is, without any glove or the hammer... oh no, we have flippers plus hookshot. I was gonna say, is Pod the only thing he can do, but no, flippers plus hookshot means that we can get over to West Dark World. So I guess maybe that's also a hint that Aga's required that we have West Dark World access.
Yeah, you definitely see that a lot of times. Like getting that early hook shot and something to get you up to that area where you can hook shot across.
Chad also pointing out that, you know, Fear can make kind of gutsy plays like doing Aga as a non-last location because he's up one game, so he's got some space to work with.
Yeah, that's true. And it's one of those things, too, that, you know, it's not a pure gamble. Like, if this is required and he gets it done early and then Pod is required to dip, then he gets through all of that area just kind of in one shot.
And neither of them checked Lumberjack. For all we know, there's still something there.
Yep, that's a very good point, too. Yeah, and as soon as they find the boots, you know, after Aga's dead, it makes sense to go there. Not right away, but, you know, after doing maybe Bonk Rocks or the other boots checks in the area.
Oh, and ShivaHaze is going back in for his coffee break.
Ooh, this could be interesting here.
Yes, it makes me think back to during SpeedGaming Live, there was an incredible race between Fear and Relkin. Wound up being decided by 2 seconds, but Fear did Tower of Terror early, didn't have hookshot, so he had to do the coffee break, and found Flute in the big chest.
Oof.
Relkin Herapotted, and wound up getting the Flute a whole lot later, and yet still only lost by 2 seconds.
So, Drossi, how many blue balls did we just have? I missed it.
It wasn't that many. Chat's saying 2.
Oh, okay. 2 is pretty ideal.
Well, yeah, we can resolve that prediction now. Congrats to those of you who got points. Sorry to those of you who lost points. Ooh, and ShivaHaze decided, even though he's gotten the big key, he wants to Harapot back up.
It makes sense if you can do it quickly, it will save you time getting back to that big chest.
Yeah, but if you miss the Harapot, well, second time at least.
Yeah, I feel like that probably broke even. Honestly, it's a pretty long walk up to the big chest.
And from here, you actually do it the vanilla way.
Different kind of bomb jump.
Speaking of bombs, that's all he gets for his trouble. So, Fear wins that gamble.
Wow, that is a lot of time to give to your opponent. It's probably, you know, almost a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes of just messing with that and getting it all set up and waiting for the coffee break.
Meanwhile, though, Fear is doing Pendant Pod without the hammer, so he can do everything here except for the boss.
Yeah, I think this play makes sense, especially in an Aga speed. Like you said, you can, like, worst case scenario, you don't get the single item on the boss.
Right, so, well, and he does have the mirror. That makes a huge difference, too, because this is a dead end that he's going to here without the hammer, but as long as you can mirror out, which is what the game expects you to be able to do, you're not in that bad a position.
Yeah, and then especially after completing the dungeon, can go do Eastern, which ShivaHaze did much earlier after they found that bow and escape. It was his first destination after CAC.
Meanwhile, ShivaHaze is definitely last locating Aga, so who knows, he might be able to avoid it. Seems unlikely at this point. We're almost out of locations. We do get a small key, so we can go right side.
Yeah, this desert play could turn interesting all of a sudden.
And I assume vanilla big key chest was a small key by process of elimination. I wasn't counting.
I missed that on his side.
Fear skipped it, so I
I
have
saw
to...
at least one item.
Okay, so now Shiva goes and he'll check the torch, see what we're missing here. Is it going to be the compass or is it going to be an item? Piece of heart. Why did you just mirror? Why didn't you open the big chest and see if the second item was there?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
That could be a bit of a blunder if the second item is in the big chest and it's important. Oh, and there's our first fetch quest item, which reminds us that we do have access now to that shovel on Lake Hylia Island as well. Oh, it's not our first fetch quest item. It's the first one we can use, though, because we don't have... Oh, no, we can go around and blow a mirror portal to use the powder, too, if we really want. So I'm just a liar.
Yeah, we got the shovel, the mushroom on the island. There was a bombos in the big chest, it looked like, so...
Yep.
And 2 things out of pot, not a total loss so far.
Yeah, so I wonder if Fear may go grab that mushroom on Lake Hylia Island or something.
Yeah, I think he'll probably do something like you mentioned. I'm trying to think of the most convenient time to route that in, honestly, but being able to save and quit from the pyramid, to start its pyramid, will probably send him northward first towards West Dark World, since we know we won't find anything in Eastern here.
Yeah, so he might go down from here and just grab that mushroom, because then you can turn it in any time. You have the powder, so you don't need to worry about fake powder, and you can flute to 2 anytime you want.
Yeah, it's just kind of in a weird place, because you don't really ever want to walk out of pod, especially if you have Aga with a mirror. You can get to pretty much anywhere you want to get to much faster, and if you do walk that route to get there, you have to go all the way around south to the little dock in the Dark World.
Oh yeah, I guess it's probably easier at that point to just save and quit to Pyramid. And it's interesting that neither of our runners got the full reduced Stalfos glitch in that Stalfos room. They both wound up having to beat 3 of them.
Oh, really? Yeah, that can happen when you're a little too far left or right when you kill the first one. Or, well, less likely when you're too high or too low. But yeah, the other thing too to mention is if they do grab the mushroom, you know, they can save and quit back to the pyramid again, and then they could turn it in on their way to the West Dark World too. So there's definitely like a good choice there for them at this point.
Yeah, and Shiva needs to start watching his health. Those enemies in Agate Tower can do quite a bit of damage, and that's despite the fact that the game's expecting you to be doing this with green mail.
Yeah, it's not a free climb for sure.
Chat's asking if Mitz could be on Ped, and yes, if we get the hammer, that would put Ped in logic. And anything we don't already have could at that point be on Ped. So even our first logical glove could be on Ped.
Yeah. Would the text be different if it was two different progressive gloves?
No. Just like, if there's a bow on Ped, it doesn't matter whether it's your logical silvers or not.
Oh, right.
So what will Fear do now? I'm guessing he'll save and quit to Pyramid, but honestly, save and quit to Link's house is probably about the same amount of time, and then you just take the Aga portal, because you don't have to mirror back here. Oh, he's fluting.
Where?
Well, he's showing us how these red guards really proliferate once you take down Aga.
Oh, yeah, okay. Just take the Aga portal. Makes sense. I guess it probably is faster if you're already in the light world. Or maybe break-even time. I'm not sure.
But yeah, he's going straight for West Dark World. He's not coming up here with the mushroom. Shiva's getting the mushroom, though.
Okay, this could be interesting. Oh, grab the mushroom already, right. But don't they have the flute? Well, I guess this is one way to get there.
Oh, he's going to turn it in before even going to Pod.
Oh, I was just pointing out he used the whirlpool instead of just fluting straight there.
Yeah, that is a bit of an odd choice now that you say it. And the shroom is junk, so hey, another gamble of fears pays off.
Yeah, it looks like all these one-off checks from Shiva are bombing.
You know, I'm sure that as a kid I did not know you could get through the Ghostly Garden without the mitts.
Yeah, I don't think I did either, honestly. I only ever saw runners do it in Rando.
And if you have the boots, it's actually pretty trivial, which you always would in the vanilla game. Okay, just a heart container on Bumper Ledge.
Yeah, this seems like a pretty standard play I've noticed from runners in an Agaseed too. Especially if you have a bow, you go check out Pod, Pendant or otherwise, and then you go check out Skull Woods, with or without the Fire Rod. It seems like a pretty common play.
And at this point, you might as well just mirror and check Ped while you're up here.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to see that. Or not.
So Shiva's now following Fear in this direction, but he hasn't been into pod, which could be a problem if either Bombos or Shovel lead to anything.
Yeah, I feel like we won't see that Shovel for a long time. I think Fear's going to take the full loop all the way around to Hype Cave and likely check Shovel on the way.
But hey, Fear got the bug net. He will now bequeath that to Gamma. More importantly, there's the hammer.
Okay, well, no, standard hammer and Skullwoods Agaseed.
And Fear is not checking Ped, even though, as we discussed, that hammer now puts Ped in logic.
Very true, yeah.
We'll see if Shiva checks Ped when he gets down here. I have to imagine if he's going up here, he'll check Skullwoods as well and get his hammer. I bet Fear does the front four of Thieves.
Yeah, I wonder even with that hammer if he commits to the dungeon. He doesn't really have almost anything open right now. Oh, I guess he has Swamp Palace. Okay,
Oh,
well.
there's one glove. So that Thieves Dip is absolutely required. 2 items in the front of Thieves. That's kind of reassuring, though that's also the point where you start thinking hard about, do I really want to do the back?
Yeah, we also, you know, not that we didn't already know it, but that hard confirms Aga required.
Yes, absolutely. So it's not like Shiva left something in the desert big chest that would have let him not do Aga.
Like 2 glove upgrades.
So Fear's out of there after getting 2 items. Oh, and Shiva's mirroring here, so we are going to get a Ped check. Head hype time.
I think this is a good play, honestly. Did Shiva find his hammer yet?
He must have, because I don't see how he would get here without doing it. And it's just a shield. I don't think we're pulling Ped.
So the dream of an all-dungeon seed is dead.
Oh, Shiva's walking back. Maybe he didn't get hammer, or else he's just using the portal to go back to Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, it seems that Shiva's choices in one-off checks are really starting to add up at this point. You know, like from Fear Agent's perspective, choosing not to look at Ped when he just moved on, ended up finding all the items necessary to just walk into the Dark World without having to use these portals. So if he wanted to go check it now, or well, at any point later, it's actually kind of convenient for him.
Well, we do know the Team Kappa motto, right? Better to be lucky than good.
Very true.
So hopefully ShivaHaze dips front of Thieves as well. Nice quick dig game today. Wow, only 5 digs.
We'd love to see that.
Feels like it doesn't happen as often as it should.
Yeah, dig game's weird. It always feels like one of those things that you either see like 20 or more, or you see it in the first like 3 or 4.
Fear figures the more bottles, the merrier, right?
Yeah, it just wants to exercise his fingers more for that quick swap action.
We haven't really talked much about those green 20s, but for those of you who haven't been watching the tournament to this point, this is hard item pool, so our mail upgrades, our second bow, our fourth sword, heart containers beyond 14, all turn into green 20s.
It's interesting watching... Oh wait, did Fear do the shovel?
Yeah, I didn't catch...
Oh, it sounds like he didn't.
No, he didn't. Chat is commenting that Fear did not do the shovel, but he is checking Bombo's tablet.
I mean, if ShivaHaze picks up that shovel and goes and digs it up, maybe that could, you know, be a big swing.
Yeah, like the item ShivaHaze may or may not have left in the desert big chest.
Yeah. I'm trying to wonder what could be in there, like if that's a vanilla glove or something.
That would be kind of funny. But Fear's gonna do Hype Cave now.
You know, I wonder if he left it because he knew that that was his last item before the possibility of having to do Aga. He said, oh, I'll get this later.
Yeah, it's just out of the way because... I mean, if we find the mitts, then you can otherwise just go straight to the back of desert, and it's actually an extra trek to do that check. Hey, fourth bottle and third medallion. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have skipped it as well, or if I agree with him skipping it there, but I'm trying to think of what was going through his mind of saying, you know what, I don't want this big chest, whatever's in there, at the point he was at, or the boss even, right?
So at this point, we just need Titan's mitts and a couple of rods, and the 1 in 22 chance that we'd need boots for the big key in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, we're getting to see the back of Thieves Town here, which is interesting.
Yeah, again, statistically speaking, this is likely a huge waste of time for ShivaHaze, but there is some chance that it could pay off, and it's probably the last place on Fear's mind.
I guess the other thing, too, is that ShivaHaze knows Pet is dead from checking it, so once finding all the items can leave without having to kill the boss, potentially.
Right. Was that just arrows in that chest?
I think it was a map.
Okay. It was the enemies that were leaving arrows. Yes, chat pointing out that the absolute best case for ShivaHaze is the 2 items in the back of Thieves Town are the 2 rods.
Yeah. Or like the boots and the mitts.
Well, I was just thinking, we haven't seen the small key yet, so if that was the map in the attic chest, then there is an item on blind.
Oh, right. Ooh, don't die here.
He does remember there's a heart under that pot. The thing is, at this point, you don't even need to necessarily get those extra hearts, because after a certain point, they'll turn into green 20s anyway, and you're so close to 14 that you're probably going to get them.
Yeah, and they're already getting close to capacity, like you said. That this is a pretty healthy seed early on. I guess it's almost an hour into the seed, so what is early on at this point? But
wow, time flies.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey, that's a nice place for the Swamp Big Key. Just check the big chest when you come out of there.
And get your 10 arrows.
And back of Thieves Town was a 100% waste of time. Yeah, Shiva's gonna need a miracle to get back in this at this point.
Did the red cane block explosion kill the Bari in the other side of the room? That was weird. He set the red cane and then an enemy exploded across the room.
Oh, I didn't catch that, but oh yeah, no, that was the red cane explosion. I caught it on the replay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it wasn't any sort of glitch. You know, the red cane bolt went in that direction and hit the Bari.
Ah, okay. And another piece of heart.
To answer chat, Shovel was in pod, as was Bombos. One or both of them may be required, we don't know yet. And those were the only things we got out of pod.
Yep. I don't even know if there was an item left actually in pod.
Shiva doesn't even want his 50 rupees at this point.
Yeah, plenty of cash for the rest of the seed, having already done Zora. It is kind of interesting. This is one of those extremely linear seeds. You know, once you get past Naga.
Hey, there's our mitts, so we are in Rod mode.
Yeah, this is convenient too. fearagent can go do Mire and Desert at the same time.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying about that abandoned big chest won't work out too well for ShivaHaze, because if there is something in it, he has to now basically take a special trip.
But yeah, I'm wondering, it feels almost like that Bombos is going to get us into Ice Palace where we find our Fire Rod, because you know how that happens. Bombos was lamp locked as well, so that would be one of those. Fire Rod locked behind both light sources, both other fires, the rule of fire, as they say.
Okay, taking a suggestion from our tracker Link Force here, we have a prediction now going. Which rod comes first?
Ooh, I like that one.
And Fire Rod isn't really locking much except for part of TR.
And Skullwoods? Boss?
We got both items out of Skullwoods, and we know Ped's nothing. Oh, no, right. It's locking the crystals, so it'll prevent us from getting into GT, but it's not locking any items that are already... that aren't already being locked by Trinex.
Yeah, I think we see Turtle as the other 5/6. I think that was the case in their last game too. So Pyramid Fairy was basically dead on both of these seeds. These last two seeds they played.
Yeah, the only possible way for Pyramid Fairy to still be relevant is that 1 in 22 chance that GT Big Key is on the torch and then boots are in Pyramid Fairy.
Oh, that would be awful. Yeah, this is much more convenient to turn this mushroom in when Fear did. We know it's nothing, but in the way he did this here, now that he has all of the overworld movement items, basically, you know, can just use the flute and pick whatever he wants to do next. You know, Mire Desert, Ice Palace. I'm guessing the potions are Ice Palace here.
The last thing the runners said in the race room as they were readying up, Fear said, "Please no late boots," and ShivaHaze said, "Yeah, I would appreciate this too."
Oof.
And here we are almost an hour in without boots.
Did the well, yeah, in the last race, boots were in the big chest of Meyer, so I don't know why they just don't go there first to go get their boots again.
Clearly, but we're getting an Ice Palace play here from Fear. With us having to do bombos all the way through here, half magic would be a nice find.
Yeah, that's probably why he went and got those potions too. Because you never want to run out of magic in this dungeon when you get to the end. But yeah, again, pointing out this is such an extremely linear seed. It's really hard to see anywhere that ShivaHaze could catch up time. Trying to think of any super gross location that Fear might skip. That ShivaHaze might say, I gotta make something out of, make some big plays in order to win this. I can guarantee feeling behind after doing Aga last there.
Yeah, Fear definitely won his gamble with doing Aga early. Also, if only Fear had pulled Ped, he'd have Fire Shield now.
And nailing the icebreaker trick.
Yeah, that almost looked like it wasn't going to go. I'm impressed he got it. Oh yeah, I'm just thinking about this Ice Palace play. We still don't know where Fire Rod is, so it might entirely be required to go into Pod to get Bombos.
Yeah, that's what I was pointing out earlier, that the way, the rule of fire always states that 3 things are locked behind each other in some circular fashion, and if we find the Fire Rod in here, then it would be that both of the other fires are locking the Fire Rod.
I haven't been counting items, though.
I think just the 10 arrows so far in Icebreaker Room.
So we just have Ice Tea, Big Chest, and Boss left. So 2 of those 3 have items?
I think so. I might have missed one, actually. But I'm pretty sure I've only seen one.
Oh, no, we got the shield, right. We got the shield at the outset. So there's only one more item.
Okay. You mean the Fire Rod's in one of these 2 checks?
Right. I've still never seen Fire Rod on Laser Bridge. I know that's a horrible thing to bring up because it's probably the last thing these runners want to see, but I've never seen Fire Rod on Laser Bridge.
I have seen it once before in a seed I've played, but it might have been a key seed, I forget now. And it's kind of, you're like, really? I gotta go all the way back and start this dungeon over? Oh, no fire. Surprising.
And Fear didn't even hit the switch because he was just planning on the full clear, so now he has to go around this way. Shiva's about to get his mitts.
So, as far as we can tell, that means Shiva might not be punished by not doing pot at this point, depending on what's behind that shovel.
Ooh. Looks like Fear might have been able to keep the puffs all in the corner, but they got away.
Yeah, getting knocked on the head by the falling ice here.
But that is crystal number 3. We're more than an hour in and we're talking crystal number 3, and we're still 2 rods from go mode. The lack of boots isn't helping matters.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's always weird being in a rod hunt for both. It's not something you see very often. Feels like.
Guess what? 1 rod in shovel spot and 1 rod in desert big chest. Calling it now.
I can actually see that with the layout.
Fire rod on shovel. That would be bad for ShivaHaze.
And Fear's not going to bother checking medallions because he has all 3, so he'll just go to Meyer when he feels like it. Shiva will probably check it, though, because he's still 1 short.
Oh yeah, I guess Bombos could still be locking one of these 2 dungeons. That could be really bad.
That looked like Ether, but it was really quick. But Fear's going for it. Oh, it is Bombos.
Ooh. Oh, okay, so fire rod's in here then, because again, fire locks fire. Yeah, that's what I meant.
And what if Turtle Rock's also Bombos?
Then the fire rod's actually in there, and I've been wrong this whole time.
Yeah, Shiva's going straight to the back of Desert here, so we'll see whether Landmo has the 2nd item, and that skip of Desert Big Chest won't hurt him. Fear forgot that Popo right by the entrance. Bombos was Pod Big Chest. So yeah, it's not exactly an easy acquisition. You're gonna do basically the whole dungeon looking for it.
Yeah, and it's likely it won't be a go mode item, so even if you got there earlier than later, maybe hammer jumping or something, you're still gonna finish the dungeon like you said.
So I actually missed, obviously Fear has the big key. Did we see any items? Or is he just going for Atreus first?
Yeah, it was big key, small key. I think this makes sense to, well, maybe you want to find at least 1 item.
Well, you could probably tell us something about what happens when you take advantage of the God Mire and aren't in go mode.
It depends if you have the hookshot or not. But I mean, yeah, like a lot of times you do this because you want to see if there's an item on the boss, because you have to do the boss anyway. You don't want to full clear the dungeon looking for both items when one of them's on the boss. And if you find the big key right away, it's not a terrible play to rush the boss and then make a decision whether or not to go back in. If you find progression item on the boss, you go back in, or you just leave at that point, since you have to do the boss anyway.
Oh, and by the way, the 2nd item in Desert is now confirmed to be in the big chest, and Shiva's just completely forgotten about it.
That poor ice rod.
Yeah, and Shiva's in trouble because we still don't know where the fire rod is, so as far as we know, like, Bombos is required for it. Bombos is required for Ice Palace. Bombos is definitely required for Mire. Actually, I guess no, there's no way Bombos could be required for Ice Palace, because the fire rod's not in Ganon's tower, obviously.
I mean, Bombos can still lock the fire rod, right?
Yeah, if it's in Mire or if it's in Turtle Rock, and Turtle Rock's Bombos.
But yeah, so fearagent did find one item on Vidi here, and now knows that as soon as he finds the second one, he's done with the dungeon. And if it's not on cutscene chest, then he can leave early instead of having to worry about it.
Yeah. And I guess with the early big key, it is slightly more likely that there is an item somewhere on the left side because we know there aren't any small keys there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yep.
Yeah, so one of map chest and lobby chest will also need to be a small key. So there's a 2/3 chance that the remaining item's on the left side. Shiva is completing the smith chain here.
Oh, hi, Fire Rod.
That could work to his advantage because we know the Team Kappa rule about not doing smith chain. So that's like ShivaHaze's one out, but he will still need to go to pod to get bombos for Meyer. And yeah, map chest has a small key, so the second item is in cutscene chest. But Fear is not counting keys. I'm going to have a talk with him after this seed about counting keys in Meyer. He doesn't want the second item. All right, time to resolve that prediction. We did see Fire Rod before Ice.
So, do we see Boots before GT? Or at all at this point? So does that mean the racers curse themselves? With that discussion in chat before the race?
Okay, Fear's already maxed out on small heart pieces because that's now a green 20 on the torch, so there's one more full heart container he could find, and that's it for health.
I don't know if I missed earlier, did ShivaHaze do the Meyer area and learn about bombos?
Yes, he did, because he finished up Desert at the same time.
Oh, that's what, right, because that's what we were saying, he skipped that big chest.
But yes, knowing Fear, it could be a while before he... Wait a minute. Oh, right. For Fear, this makes sense. He's like, well, I just had to mirror out of there. If Lanmo has the second item, I don't need to go to the big chest. But he probably is still thinking big chest.
Yeah, maybe we just don't see it in this seed.
It's probably Ice Rod. Where was the seed where the boots were in GT Big Chest?
Oh, I don't know.
Someone's pinging us about that. I feel like I saw some crazy seed recently where the boots were in GT Big Chest.
Yeah, I'm realizing that Smith Chain's in kind of an awkward location for Fear. I'm trying to think of how he gets back there from his perspective. After Desert, what does he have left? I guess Dark Death Mountain?
Hey, grabbing all those bottles is paying off for ShivaHaze. He was able to refill his magic to break Cold Stare's shell.
Oh, very nice.
And he gets quite a bit cleaner kill than Fear did, too.
dual crystal catch.
Yeah, chat's talking about like portal save if the runners do Turtle Rock, but remember we have Aga down, so you can't really save your portal.
Well, we are going to see that desert big chest.
Yeah, as I figured, Fear was just hoping that the second item would be on land mode, he wouldn't have to go back for it, but this isn't like doing cutscene chest and mire. Oh, and ShivaHaze is giving us our first look at Dark Death Mountain here, so we will see if he's Bombos locked out of Turtle Rock as well.
Yeah, that could be super unfortunate if that's the case. Oh my god.
Oh.
Come on, game. Please.
Oh.
Cut this guy some slack. I don't think... You think he forgot about that check at this point?
He must have, because, like, why would you skip Desert Big Chest? It's a pretty easy check.
Twice, by the way.
Right.
That's the real telling thing, is that if you skip something twice, you either made a choice that I don't want whatever's in there no matter what, or you forgot.
Yeah, and when it's not that much extra time to check, it's usually the latter.
Yeah, but I believe that's no mode for us.
That is. So Fear forgetting about his shovel doesn't cost him. ShivaHaze forgetting about Desert Big Chest does cost him. But Fear is now going up the mountain, so he's not going to be doing Smith Chain anytime soon. I'd still bet on him doing it before ShivaHaze goes back into Desert, though. Yeah, so now the question will be how... Okay, so that was Quake for Turtle Rock? Yeah, so now the question will be how quickly does Fear get locked out?
I'm trying to remember, was Quake in, like, Hype Cave or something?
That sounds right. I know it was the first medallion we got. Wait, no, we got it before Bombo, so it must have been in the Light World because Fear did pod as soon as he got to the Dark World.
Oh, chat was saying Ether was in Hype Cave. I felt like there was a coin. Oh, it was on Merchant. I remember because you mentioned him selling a coin.
Right, we talked about, yes. So if this compass chest is not a small key, Fear gets locked out in a hurry. But it's a small key, so Fear may be going down the rabbit hole when he goes into TR.
I mean, it makes sense from his perspective. Like, if you're up here, if Fire Rod's in here, you know, you don't want to last location it.
Right.
Because it is his go mode item as far as he knows at this point.
Well, we're about to see what Fear's getting locked out of here on right side.
The other Ice Rod, perhaps?
Yes, because we now have 2 Ice Rods per game. Let's talk to Sinek about that.
I wish.
Cane of Berna. That is a small key, so chances are he will get key locked at some point.
Yeah, probably pretty quickly.
Well, we're going to sort of get a high five here in TR. Oh yeah, let's hope Fear does better in Chain Chomp Room this time. Oh, and there's the cape, so that will lock Fear out when he gets there.
Yeah, Shiva found both invincibility items in here.
To answer chat, Fire Rod is purple chest.
Even the Chain Chomp's giving Fear Agent a break here, just firing into the center completely out of his way to let him grab that cape.
Well, it's because they were so mean to him last seed.
Ah, yeah, makes sense. Cutting him some slack.
And the big key is vanilla, so we're not really going to be able to cut corners even in go mode, TR.
I wonder where Fear's going here.
Catfish?
I guess. Did he do the mushroom? Yeah, he did. Catfish? Graveyard? No, he did Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, and he doesn't have the boots for King's Tomb, so Catfish is the only reasonable thing he could be doing in this direction.
Oh, yeah, Catfish did have their red cane last seed, so maybe it's a bit of like, I don't want to get trolled by this stupid fish again.
So then, does he do Smith Chain?
Trying to think of what he has left, honestly. Shovel, maybe?
If he remembers that he has Shovel.
He did get that cape. I don't know. He could walk up to Spike Cave.
Yeah, I mean, he already checked Bumper Ledge, so he knows the cape isn't useful there. And
yeah,
if he were going to do Spike Cave, I think he would have done it before he left Death Mountain.
I don't think he has much left, honestly. Somehow, after orphaning what feels like a ton of checks, he actually only really has a couple things left.
Yeah, well, he's...
Oh, ped check.
Yeah, right, because if you were going for the portal, he wouldn't go this way. ShivaHaze is having a little bit of a quick swap mishap.
At least it wasn't a mirror.
Yeah, I've seen that way too many times. Okay, now Fear will probably go for the portal. Nope, he's taking the flute out.
Yeah, just getting out of this area quicker.
Oh, you're right.
It's a long walk up there.
Well, let's see what we get on Laser Bridge. Maybe half magic or something nice? Make it at least sort of worth ShivaHaze's while?
Bomb? Not bomb. Bombs. Yeah, it's gonna be more bombs. Good job, Calm. No. Like boots, I was thinking, though?
Oh, Back of Thieves. This could take a bit.
Oh, yeah, the two, well, now they're going to be green 20s for him. It was like a heart container and a heart piece, I believe, in these two chests.
But he's in the area. He's got to do Smith Chain after this.
Yeah.
Oh, and ShivaHaze takes a death from the lasers. Oh, but he has a fairy. Okay.
Yeah, the bug net paying off.
Now he's thinking. Probably thinking, do I want to take the safety door? What is he thinking about? His timer's still running, so he's not frozen.
I'm not sure.
There's the key that we knew had to be here somewhere. Ooh. Yeah, take the safety door, Shiva, otherwise...
You know, what was the prediction earlier was which rod will we find first, right? And
Yeah.
I think we had an opportunity to see the ice rod at 25 minutes into the seed.
We did.
Just realizing that now.
She was just having a rough time of this laser bridge. All for a green 20.
Yeah, it was probably just hard at this point. No boots, sadly.
Now what's he gonna do? Okay, yeah, mirror so that you can then flute or save and quit or whatever.
I don't think there's any light world checks left though.
Well, ShivaHaze has got to be thinking about pod at some point. It is literally the only dungeon he can go into that he hasn't been into.
That's a good point, yeah, and finding all the invincibility items in Total Rock, I guess, giving him the idea to check Spike Cave. Would be nice with a little more health or magic, but we'll see. Probably has a bottle or potion or something at some point. I think there was a green potion in Cave 45 that he probably still has, if he needs it.
No, he used that green potion on Cold Stare.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay then.
But he does have a red potion.
Yeah, plenty of hearts with that.
Yeah, 14 hearts is actually enough to cheese Spike Cave altogether and not need any sort of potion or magic.
Oh my god, of course.
Hey, that could pay off at the 1 in 22 chance.
Well then. Boots are always in TR?
Okay, Shiva, you gotta go to pod. You gotta be thinking about pod. Yeah, so 2 out of 3 pendant
Lumberjack
dungeons...
incoming. Sorry.
Oh, true. 2 out of 3 pendant dungeons were hard required today, and the third one gave us Tempered Sword, which was just really nice.
Yeah, I think Fear Agent never finds those boots in the seed.
I mean, he's gonna be in go mode in less than 2 minutes. Well, 20 seconds of go mode.
The best kind of go mode.
Chat pointing out, too, that if it is Boots on Torch, Fear is right there for doing Spike Cave, though he'll probably, at that point, first take the coffee break and do Hera Big Chest, and then do Spike Cave. And just shy of 127, Fear Agent is in go mode. Wonder how he's feeling after that last long seed.
Yeah. All right, Lumberjacks. What have you been hiding this entire seed?
Green 20? Even worse.
I was gonna say, I almost said a blue 20, but that obviously makes no sense.
So what's ShivaHaze gonna do? I guess he's just gonna finish Skull Woods while he's here, since it's a crystal that he'll need anyway.
Yeah, maybe just get some time to think.
Yeah, not a bad idea. It's just, unfortunate because, one, no one likes to do Pendant Pod. It was just a good play on Fear's part to think to do that, since that's where he kind of got dumped out.
Yeah, I mean, it's an Agaseed, you got to make choices on like, Agassiz almost always play out, of one of like a few options, and one of those options is always, do you pick Pod or West Dark World, or both? And fearagent chose Pod first, found Bombos, which was required, and then made the trek through the rest of the Dark World to end up where he's at now. Whereas ShivaHaze skipped all of Pod and just went straight to West Dark World.
And then, of course, issue 2 is that freaking desert big chest.
Yeah, that's just super unfortunate.
Fear really getting beaten up in this room before Mothula.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to set up the hitting the mummy into the spikes to kill it in 2 shots, but it got kind of out of the way.
Well, it's only 4 hits with Tempered Sword as long as they all hit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, suddenly we're in the same dungeon fighting the same boss for what seems like the first time this entire season.
And you were saying it was a linear seed.
Yeah, right?
Well, they both have pretty good moth fights. I wonder if I should put in a prediction of whether the GT Big Key is on Torch just to see how many people are crazy enough to bet on it being on Torch.
I mean, there's nothing stopping you, right?
I just don't like really lopsided bets like that.
I mean, supposedly the odds are 1 in 22, right? Because as I understand it, they placed the big key before everything else for the rest of the GT layout.
Yeah, that's true in all dungeons. They place the big keys and then the small keys.
Ah, okay.
Okay, we'll give you a nice long time to think about it. Ah, yes, thank you, Homemade Beer. Do give these runners a follow. Even if this race continues the way it's going and Fear advances and ShivaHaze gets eliminated, they both got this far. That is no mean feat given how competitive this community has really gotten and how many really are.
Yeah, one thing to point out too about what you just said, the competitiveness in this community, is that even with this tournament having a cap on 128 players that went through the qualifiers to get into the tournament, they still have the Challenge Cup going at the same time for everyone else who participated, and which has more than 128 participants as well on top of that. So it's
Challenge Cup had 160, and I know I could probably name at least a dozen really good players who just decided to take a breather and sit out the tournaments altogether. So
yeah, there's definitely a ton of competition, and it feels like, to me, only mostly having watched this for so long, that like the community is only growing.
So Shiva's finally going to Pod, which will be part of his puzzle, though, as we said, with Bombos being in the big chest, it'll take him a while to get there.
Yeah, and not having the ice rod, well, I think I had mentioned it earlier that it wouldn't likely be his last item to put him in go mode, and here we are. But if he had picked up that ice rod along the way, would have been able to just mirror out and leave the dungeon immediately. But it seems likely he'll even, unless they found all 5 items in the front, he'll end up killing Helmasaur as well.
Painful way to get ice rod for go mode.
Yeah, the worst kind of ice rod hunt.
Fear, you don't have the big key yet. By the way, even though the people betting against Torch are betting more points on average, 53 of you are betting not Torch, 49 of you are betting Torch. It's remarkably evenly split.
That's a good return on investment, it sounds like.
Oh, Shiva doing a nice job with that clip, which I still don't even really know how it works, but I like that it's been discovered, and just another lesson in how many clips and glitches are still being discovered 3 decades after this game came out.
We're up to over 500,000, almost 600,000 points on this bet. This might have been your best prediction yet, Drossi.
Chad is having a field day.
We still only have a minute left. Go all in on this prediction if you haven't yet, apparently.
78 people voting not Torch, 65 people voting Torch.
We're at 650.
This is crazy.
I'm just hoping we make it to 1 million before the 30 seconds is up before everything closes. Thanks, chat, for for making this one happen.
I mean, if it is on Torch, at least we'll find out really quickly. And there's Shiva's Bombos, finally. So that'll take him to Meyer, which will put him in the vicinity of Desert, so maybe he'll remember that big chest.
All right, so how far did we get on the prediction?
I was just going to say, I assume Fear checked that last chest in case it was half magic or something. We have 91 people betting 614,000 points on not Torch, and 90 people betting 200,000 points on Torch.
Well, this is going to be an interesting one then.
So here we are with Trinex. Should be a nice straightforward battle, though Fear's a little bit low on health, so he needs to make sure it's a clean battle.
Yeah, just don't get hit by the heads. I think the body does 1 or 2 hearts of damage, but the heads do 4.
That I don't know.
I always forget because I always get hit by the heads, and it always does 4, so...
Well, down goes the boss, and hey, now you get to spam numbers in chat, too. If you want to guess where exactly that cheeky big key might be, I'm guessing we'll see a lot of 3s.
I mean, I'm still going to go with 1. My favorite prediction, and he's going to go left first, so...
Oh, he's going to go left first and find out immediately, I see. I mean, do you go left just to see right off the bat?
Probably not. I think he would still do Hope Room first, but we'll see what he chooses here. ShivaHaze has a very nice Meyer too.
Yeah, and definitely getting around Meyer a lot faster with those boots. It's just almost certainly too little too late. Oh, is he gonna try hovering? Okay, well, sorry for those of you who are hoping for the boots chase. I guess Fear will not be getting boots this seed. It could still be tile room, though.
Ah, too bad. Looks like ShivaHaze is finishing up Meyer here. Wonder if he makes it over to Desert after this. Realize, you know what? I think I forgot something here.
I really hope so.
Because I'm not sure what else is left for him, honestly.
Like, well, he didn't check shovel spot, right?
Oh, that's true. I guess no one did, right?
Yeah. Again, that's, you know, Fear just lucked out there that the check that he inexplicably skipped was nothing, while the check that ShivaHaze inexplicably skipped was everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, chat's saying that he did check shovel, and it was 50 rupees.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so we're gonna see cutscene chest, and hey, there was the big key in map chest, so I believe that's 12. I can't actually scroll all the way back through the guesses, though. Though I do see that Mr. Ed3 guessed 12, so congrats to you.
Well, it wasn't one today, so. Did cutscene chest was the other item in Meyer, right?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
But ShivaHaze must have done the lobby chest, so he also isn't counting Meyer keys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because those two both had to be.
Okay,
What
time to
you're
give both runners a lesson in Meyer key counting.
Nice key dash there. Oh, nice double hit. And then getting sniped.
Yeah, he's gonna need some magic up there. I guess he's gonna do that first torch room with the lamp at this rate.
Yeah, it looks like he would have to, unless he has a potion that he wants to burn on it.
I don't think he...
Or get a magic.
Oh, he might still have the green, I'm not sure. And yeah, that was just junk there. So ShivaHaze, no, don't save and quit. Okay.
More magic.
No.
If only there was a way to dash through those rooms and knock the guards off.
No, Shiva. Where are you going? Pyramid Fairy? No, you can't do Pyramid Fairy. You don't have Turtle Rock.
Is there anything left?
Catfish? I don't think he's been up there, has he?
No, he has.
Okay, then what's he got left?
I guess Helma. I don't know if Helma has an item.
I never counted pod items. I honestly don't know if Helma has an item. This is gonna be sad. I always feel bad when there's a seed where one runner finishes and the other isn't even in go mode yet.
Yeah, the fire rod play ended up actually being kind of interesting until, you know, it was like a fire rod or a bombos. Like, which one did you find, which was in a terrible location?
And congratulations to fearagent, who manages to get 2 enraged Moldorms with a tempered sword this seed. That takes talent.
Was it the last race where that happened to them too, to him too, or was it a different race?
I don't know.
I definitely saw that happen in a race earlier today that I watched.
Oh,
I don't know if it was him.
Not earlier this race, you mean? Because he did it in Hera.
Am I seed bleeding the same seed?
You could be. It's a long seed. Only gets a single for all that. That should have been a double.
ShivaHaze here, gonna find out about the big key chest, or the big chest.
Oh yeah. So at 1 hour 46 minutes even, ShivaHaze is in go mode.
Yeah, that really sucks. It always hurts to see. Interestingly, the way this was routed at the beginning of the seed, ShivaHaze would have had that before Dark World access as well.
And we have Ganon thinking we're in the Adventure of Link.
Oh, I missed the quote?
Oh, like Impa says that mark on your hand means that you are the chosen one. Your blood can resurrect me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're well into phase 4 on Fear's side as Shiva takes his final dive into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, getting some triples here, very nice.
And down goes Ganon for fearagent. Get your GG's in as he becomes the first runner to advance to the round of 32 in this tournament. So Fear Agent crosses with an official time of 1:48.26, and ShivaHaze immediately forfeits. I don't blame him, honestly. Let's see if we can get them into chat, though. While we're waiting for them, though, we can talk about races for tomorrow. This is our last race for tonight. But starting tomorrow at 5:10 on SpeedGaming 3 is the next race for this tournament. And we will be having Scion T versus Goomba. That is the 32 seed against the 33 seed. And then we'll have a whole long schedule of races throughout the evening. At 6:10, we have Shady Force versus McLagging on SpeedGaming 2. At 8:10, I see Pika Pals versus CS Tutor on SpeedGaming 5. And meanwhile, we are joined by both Fear Agent and ShivaHaze. Good game, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, miss your boots much?
Wish I could play a seed with the boots. I'm just so tired of it. I think I might start a league where every week you get boots at the beginning, because this is terrible. It's just terrible to play.
I've heard rumors to that effect.
There's so many. It's it's awful. It just feels awful to play without boots for, let's see, we've had almost hour and 50 seeds for both of our seeds. And we had way late boots in the last seed, and I never found them in this seed, so.
Also the poor D-pads.
Yeah, my thumb, it's the worst. I just want to just let me dash. I just want to dash.
Yeah. Well, you got through it. Yeah, ShivaHaze, actually, I was wondering, you just didn't want to dive pendant pod after doing Aga? I guess that was the thing there?
Yeah, I wanted pod to be the time safe to get confident in my lead, but I missed the Desert Palace chest. I wasn't sure about if I full cleared it. I was like 95% sure I did full clear it, but yeah, I forgot about the big chest.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And Fear, meanwhile, you made a fairly early Aga play where you're just thinking that you're still 2 items away from Dark World access otherwise, and we're just going to risk it.
I've played this game for a long time, and you get that loadout, it's Aga, man. It's just Aga. It's so often it's Aga. So with the mirror, I could combine Eastern with Pod, and yeah, so that was kind of the idea.
Yeah, I guess that was the other thing. You hadn't yet done Eastern, so you had more of an incentive to do Pod. And you had the green pendant.
Yeah. I felt terrible. I was like, in GT, I walked this entire seed, and I'm just like looking at the race time. I'm like, where is Shiva? Like, why is he not finished? The seed is awful. Please just end me. And it just kept going and kept going.
I was basically thinking the same.
Did she even tell you where the boots were?
Yeah, I found out they're in Spike Cave.
Yeah.
But
hey, chat was going crazy hoping that the big key would be on the torch and seeing whether you would, jump out and go to Spike Cave since it was right there.
That's true. We almost got 1 million points on it.
Yeah. Oh wow. When desert is not boots locked, I'm just like, okay, boots are GT. It's like I'm just gonna find boots in GT. But I mean, I don't have very much left. I have Spike Cave, Mimic Cave, Pyramid Fairy, the shovel,
Yeah,
And,
that was odd that you
and the
skipped
one
that.
item. Well, it wasn't on purpose. I just forgot I had the shovel, and then there was never a good time to go like reroute it in. So, because like, again, if you have the boots, just dash up, but it takes forever to walk. Like once I skipped it, I was like, because I was going to get mushroom. Once I got the mitts in swamp, I was like, okay, I'll grab the mushroom and then I can go to ice, or I can possibly go to mire. But then I'm like, I'm totally orphaning that shovel, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll just route it in when I do the smith chain. And then I did the smith chain and ended up getting the purple chest before, because I was going to just go walk up there after I did the purple chest. But once I forgot that I had the shovel, it was such an orphan check that it takes way too long to walk back up there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
and
didn't
you
forget
also,
it. I just knew I just put it off after I skipped it the first time.
You also
I
skipped
didn't
Terra
do.
Big.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip that like 99% of the time, especially when it's a pendant. I also skipped Ice Palace or Mire Big too,
That's true.
but that's because I had all of the mountain and the smith chain. There was still like I really actually didn't even want to go back in, but I was like, if it's the big chest, or the big key chest, I'm out of here. I'm not gonna waste time. So
Wondering how the seed is always like, always if I forget one chest, it's the item. Always.
yeah,
It's so unlucky. I don't know how this can happen.
that's super unlucky.
But by the way, Fear, that reminds me about Meyer key logic. You didn't have to go back to the map chest. That had to be a small key.
I can't tell you map. I just guess.
Oh.
I couldn't tell you Mire logic to save my life. If there's like a written test, I would fail it.
There can only be a small key on the left side if the big key's also on the left side. So since you already had the big key, all the small keys had to not be left side.
I see. I won't remember that. So just warning.
I'm sure you won't, but
Also, these games are
super time too.
Like I'm watching, we're on a 10-minute delay and watching the restream. Like, man, this is awful. Like I was so nervous in GT because again, I'm walking the entire time and I'm just kind of waiting for pretty much almost last location that fire rod, and I'm like just kind of waiting for him to finish. And so I get to GT. I'm like, okay, if he finishes now, I'm okay. And then I get the big key, and then I start climbing, and then my heart starts pounding a little bit more, and then I get to the top, and I poked Moldworm again. Like, what the? How did I keep poking Moldworm today?
Twice.
I don't know. I never done that before. And so like by the time you get to Ganon, and I missed the 1-in-1, it's just like super this game is hard, man, when you're racing on in the main tournament.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the first time in brackets for both of you, yes?
Yep.
I've been in brackets 2 years ago.
Oh, long ago, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was the last tournament, I think, right? Like it's been a while since the last main tournament. So I've played in 3. This is my 3rd one. I've never made brackets. So
I mean, tournament races are always a little bit different. You're always watching to the opponent if he's finished or not. And you think, even if it's going really well, you always think he might be ahead. He might be ahead all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt good about the Aga play because again, I didn't do desert and I hadn't done Eastern yet. And then I did pod before I even did Eastern, and I only got Bombos and the shovel, and I kept thinking, man, I really need one of these 2 things to like be required. And then I was happy when I saw that Maya required Bombos. Yeah, I felt really good for the most part until the fire rod just kept not wanting to show up for me. And of course, walking everywhere just feels terrible.
It didn't matter because I found the bombos before the ice rod. So
yeah.
Well, it sort of worked out for you, ShivaHaze, because you never found bombos. So after you finished Swamp,
you didn't really have as much you could do. Since you went to Mire and there was nothing to do there, it's like, okay, well, I'll do Death Mountain. There's nothing I can do here, and then do the Smith Chain and find the Fire Rod.
Yeah,
Or I forget which
decided
order it was, but yeah.
I decided for the Smith Chain because I did Thieves Town early on, and I was thinking about, if Fear Agent, I think he wouldn't go for the back of Thieves Town early on, so he might just come back if he has nothing else left than Smith Chain and Thieves Town.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
exactly what I did.
was my mind, and I was really happy about finding the Fire Rod, but
Yeah, you pretty much
Yeah.
called it.
But even if I did pick up the Ice Rod, would have been close, I guess. Because
Well,
it was also more like a last location for me.
Yeah, if you had gotten the Ice Rod, it would have been before you did Aga.
Yeah, that's true. I was in desert. I really thought I have full cleared it. I also knew it was not boots locked, and I knew there was an item on the torch. So
Yeah,
That's
you basically
really-
would have ended up with like full clearing TR and then ended up in Bombosco mode. Like probably somewhat similar time, honestly, when Fear Agent would have been finding Fire Rod. Mainly just because of it sort of being last location there.
I didn't even thought about it. Just if I had nothing left. I had Halmasaur left, but it was for the pet, and pet was a shield, so no reason to go for it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I want to say thanks for the restream. Really appreciate it, and yeah, I had a lot of fun in this tournament.
Yeah, thanks for playing. Making brackets is quite an accomplishment. We were talking during the race about the sheer number of really good players in the game these days.
Yeah, and you went 4-0 against GGW and Dr. Marty. That's not easy to do.
I was a little bit unfocused today. I don't know. I did so many mistakes. Also, I swam to the witch to get up my mushroom
Oh, yeah.
instead of looting, and I was so unfocused today. It was horrible.
Yeah, we did notice that when you took the whirlpool there instead of fluting, but
I think that's how it goes sometimes, and I'm happy about the overall result. Making 2 brackets was the goal. I did it, and yeah, maybe we see next year.
yeah,
We hope
there
so.
is always next year, and there's the league in the fall and all that fun stuff. Yeah, and Fear, you're officially the first person to be in the round of 32 in these brackets.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm excited.
Good luck there.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hopefully I can, Zelga. I think Zelga, I play the winner of Zelga Paradox, and I think Zelga is like is the most predictions to win the tournament or top 4 or something like that. So that means most people don't think that I'm going to beat Zelga, but well, first he's got to get Paradox. This is Rando. But if I do get Zelga, then hope to upset some brackets.
Well, good luck to you. I guess that'll be a ways off because this round goes through May 23rd, so it'll be the last week of the month before you have to play that series. So you can rest on your laurels for 2 weeks.
Perfect. Yeah, so appreciate the restreams and the trackers. I think Link Force did this one, and I'm not sure who did the first one. But yeah, thanks to everyone that volunteered for these. This was a fun series. Well, the seeds were terrible, but I enjoyed playing Shiva, and good luck to him in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah, And GG's again to both of our runners. Please do give them a follow again. And Fear mentioned our incredible tracker Link Force, really on top of things. You can see just how full the tracker is at this point. So she really had to do a number here. Oh yeah, and homemade beer. Always a lot of fun working with you.
Yeah, definitely always fun. Con these races and work with you as well.
And check out that schedule, which we've put in the chat. As we were saying, plenty of races tomorrow and throughout this week and next week, as this round of the brackets extends all the way to May 23rd. And we'll see 32 pairs of runners playing best of threes. So I guess that'll do it for tonight, though. Thanks again for watching. Have a great evening and tune in tomorrow for more fun.
Goodbye.